The Human Target, issue number 7. It's been about 6 months since the 6th issue released. In between that time, there was like a Secret Files book that came out that I didn't read it. Honestly, I just wanted to stay with the main bad boy here. Because, I'll be honest, I was a little upset when they said we have to take a break. But if it meant Greg Smallwood was going to give us some of the best artwork of his career again, then I was like, yeah, okay, take the break. Take all the time you need. I will take the break for Greg Smallwood's art. As long as you need to do it, I will wait patiently. Because when I opened up this book, I sat down to read it, and I was just like, oh, we're back. We're back in this world. Everything feels bright and vibrant, and we're having fun again. We're doing cool stuff again. We're experiencing things again for a top level. It's awesome. We're back into the swing of things. So it has been 6 months. If you're a little unfamiliar with this book and maybe you caught up in that time, well, I'll just kind of reiterate a couple of things that were happening. So Ice killed Guy Gardner in an act of defense. We realized that maybe Fire got the money from Martian Manhunter to give to Booster Gold to get the water that would be used to poison Lex. Yeah. It is a noir book through and through. That is where we're going with this. That is how intense this has been. So issue 7 of 12. Every chapter is like a day in the life of Christopher Chance, and on day 12 he's probably going to die from poison from the water that was for Lex. So in this book, he's out at a club. He's with a nice, beautiful woman. This time she's got some green hair because he's here with Fire. And basically, as we go further on the book, we'll realize that this whole encounter is just Fire kind of realizing, oh, she can't get this guy to sleep with her because he's so seriously interested in Ice. But he's here to kind of accuse her of everything going on. It's a beautiful story. So, again, I won't be reading every single piece of dialogue. I won't be talking about every single piece of narration that comes out through this book. But it's pretty brilliant, and it's pretty fun. So first off, the key thing that caught my attention, aside from the artwork, is the one piece of dialogue that King had such a pleasure writing, and that's, I've fallen for Ice, and I have fire in my arms. And we just see that Chrissy here is dancing to Fire at this club. There's some song playing, and you can see the lyrics to it. I don't know the name of this song, but there you go. And they read the good book Sunday and snappy stories Monday. You get it. It's kind of fun. As soon as that happens, guess what? Well, some robbers come in to try to shoot the place up. They continue dancing because they're not listening to the people saying get on the ground, you have to get on the ground. Fire burns his gun. The entire time she's in Christopher's arms, and you think the night's over, but it's not. They got some more fun stuff to do. Something you just know King had a story to tell for Fire and Ice. He knew how to make both of those two the femme fatale damsel characters in this noir story. One of my favorite details of the artwork is just that in almost every single scene with Fire, you see either a trail of fire away from her or she's holding a cigarette because she is just constantly having the flame around her, and I think that's really cool. So you see that she's well, I like Ferris wheels. You want to go find a Ferris wheel? And Christopher gives us a great impression of Lex Luthor. He gets them to open a carnival. They get on the top of a Ferris wheel and just start to talk. And this is where he's well, I was just following the trails. The trails led back to you. You got the money from Martian. You gave the money to Booster. Booster got the water for Lex, and now it's on me. Hard to say it's from you, babe. It's looking, all sides pointing to Fire. It's looking like it's gonna be you. Now, again, we could spend hours talking about each individual panel and the artistic development of them. It's beautiful to see. I love the way Smallwood just gets a great close-up and the fluidity of each shot. It is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And she kind of, just denies the question, kind of pushes it to the side and goes into this thing do you want to kiss me? Most guys want to kiss me. Most of the time I'm here, I've become an object of men's attraction. And men want to own me, they want to possess me, but I'm not about that. I'm a sexual being. I'll do things on my own time. You seem like you'd want to kiss me. He's I don't. I just want to get the truth. So she asks him, what do you want to do? And Christopher gives us the story about his father, how he was a taxman for people who made a lot more money than him, and one day he tried to get a little off the top for himself, and that's the week before his father passed away. When it didn't go right, he lost everything, and he went to find his father crying. And that is being juxtaposed with Christopher standing on the side of the Ferris wheel and then jumping off the side, and he just says, "I want you to catch me." And essentially it's just like, I'm in the deep end now. Let's see if this is genuinely a good girl. Because he's like, I make my business in dying. If I die here, well, that might prove one or two things. And again, it goes to this really cool idea that I like that this is presented, where it's kind of like, so if she let him die, that proves she's guilty and willing to be a murderer. And she's like, that is some serious bullshit. You like killing yourself to get the confession. Is that what you think this is? If I did it, is that how you'd want to find the way? It's like, well, I win by dying. It was a big gamble, but it worked. And it's kind of working. It's like, if you die, though, what happens dies. Well, I wouldn't have to worry about her, but you'll always take care of her. You'd even kill for her. And then she slaps him. He's like, well, you had the motive, you had the weapon, you had the water in your hands. It all makes sense. And he blocks one final slap from her. And you get, you just know. This was the page that good old Tom King knew he had to put in the book. He did it with Ice when she first appeared on the scene, and now we're getting it with Fire. She burned her clothes off, and she's wearing the suit jacket, and she's just like, bet you want to kiss me now? And it's amazing how he's managed to like portray both of these characters. Is it the best interpretation of them? That's up for you to decide. I could see it being the best. You know, when we first met Ice in her big splash page, she was a little more distant, a little more like cold. And you feel like they're like the way he's presenting both Fire and Ice as characters is lustful, but it's different types of lustful, where there's like this necessity for like touch and embodiment when it comes to Ice, but when it comes to Fire, she's just like this thing that is probably going to destroy you. And I really like that depiction. This page is awesome. This book is awesome. Like it's been 6 months and I don't think it's missed a beat, and that is amazing to me. I still don't know where this is going to go. So then we cut to the next day. Christopher wakes up. Ice is in bed next to him. They're still kind of like reeling with the fact that the day before she killed Guy, and she doesn't really want to talk about it, but the evidence is scrubbed. Everything's looking like they covered this up pretty good. And he just goes to have a shower, just like, this is getting harder. And again, Tom King knows how to write a story when he wants to. When he's not touching a certain character, the guy just knows how to spin a yarn. This is a great example of it. Just like the idea of Ice being this cold presence that's looming around Christopher, and every moment she gets closer to him, it warms him up. I'm like, that is brilliant. Just the way like her cold touch warms him. Oh, dude, that is sick. It's just such a good book. I'm really digging this, man. Again, if you're not reading it, I'm not doing it justice just by talking about this. Everything is just working on so many conceivable levels. So they go back to bed. We see that Ice gets a call. She was on the phone with Fire. She says that Christopher passed the test. They go to visit her. The first time in the book, we're seeing like the honest to God Ice and Fire together. Just this beautiful flirtationship. Now, I'm still convinced, this is my theory of this book so far, this is all a plot by Fire and Ice because they are secretly Thelma and Louising everybody. That's what I think's going on here. But you see, she's now admitting, like, okay, Christopher, I was kind of doing a plot there to kind of like seduce you in a way, seeing if you would pull away from Ice. You're a good fit for her, not like the other guy who kind of sucked. So now that you passed the test, we're doing things the right way. So this is where she gives him kind of the confession. She did get the money from Martian. You know, he's a guy who didn't like to say no. Same with Booster. Booster got the water from her. He didn't like to say no. But she wasn't the one who put the poison in the drink. Essentially, what she's saying is she got it for somebody else. So she got the money to give to Booster, and Booster gave the thing to somebody else. And this is where we get who got it from, who is it, who did it. And she's like, well, you're going to kill him. It's like, oh man, you're setting something up beautiful. And again, as this page goes on, again, I love the narration. 7 days ago, I was murdered. 6 days ago, I met Ice. 3 days ago, we kissed. Yesterday, we killed a superhero. Everything is going well. Because who got the water that was used to poison Lex? Well, it looks like it was Guy Gardner, which could potentially mean that Christopher and Ice already killed the person that tried to kill Lex. Oh boy. The plot thickens, doesn't it? You have to imagine that this is going to be the point in the story where Batman shows up. Of course it is, because what else would you do here? Batman's got to come in at this point. But beautiful, a beautiful capper to this chapter. I'm still obsessed with this book. Like, the artwork is breathtaking. I know there's 6 months, and some parts of it I still think look a little rushed, but I cannot complain about a single panel. I cannot complain about a single depiction of any character or like a layout. It looks great. The writing is as sharp and witty and beautiful as ever. This is the kind of thing where I just want more books to look like this and feel like this and have this energy. It's the thing that King shines at, is just like a mini series about a character who could be doing something wrong, but you love it so much and you're here for every interpretation of it. It's great. It's great to be back in this world, to have connections reeling in it. Oh man, it's so fun. I dig it, man. We're back on top. Issue 7 continues to keep this book trending on Great Water. Was it Guy? Was Guy set up? Maybe Martian was pretending to be Guy. Who's to say? It's all great. It's all great. Read it, please. Please read this book. If you're going to read anything from King, let it be this book. So, The Human Target, issue number 7, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.